Chika and Sandra met under the neon lights of a Lagos rooftop party, where music throbbed and hearts beat like war drums. He was a freelance photographer with a cocky grin. She was a PR intern chasing dreams and cocktails. Their connection was electric, fast, reckless, and wrapped in alcohol-fueled laughter. That night, they barely spoke, just touched, kissed, and tumbled into a rented flat in Lekki. It was supposed to be one night. The next morning, awkward silence hovered between them. Sandra left with her heels in her hand, swearing it was nothing. Chika never asked for her number, but fate has a strange way of forcing two people back together, and it was already stirring. 2 months later, Sandra sat alone in her bathroom, staring at a pregnancy test that screamed positive. Her hands trembled. Her roommate, Anita, gasped. "Chika?" she asked. Sandra nodded, feeling the world tilt. They hadn't even exchanged last names properly. She barely knew him. The thought of tracking him down felt humiliating. But as nausea twisted her insides again, reality dawned. She had to find him, not for love, for the baby. Still, deep down, she wondered, how would he react? Would he even remember her? Finding Chika was harder than expected. No social media trail, no mutual friends. Lagos was too loud and too fast for tracing ghosts. Then, one morning, fate intervened. He showed up on her Instagram Explore page, tagged in someone's story. A rooftop party. Same old smirk. Same old devil-may-care eyes. Sandra messaged. He replied with confused, "Who's this?" Her throat tightened. She typed, "We need to talk. I'm pregnant." Seen. No reply. Hours passed. Days. And then, "Can we meet?" The meeting was set. But what would he say? Would he deny it? At the cafe. Chika leaned back in his chair, like the world owed him comfort. Sandra sat opposite, straight-backed and anxious. "Are you sure it's mine?" he asked, words sharp, face unreadable. Her heart dropped. Of course he'd say that. "I'm not asking for your money," she snapped. "I'm asking you to be responsible." A long silence followed. Then something shifted in his eyes, guilt maybe. "Give me time," he whispered. This wasn't the plan. Neither of them said it, but they both felt it. The life they lived was over. Something new and terrifying had begun. Weeks passed. Chika began calling, then texting. They met for doctor's appointments. They even laughed sometimes, but the tension simmered just beneath the surface. They were strangers forced into partnership. One moment they joked about baby names. The next, they argued about money, daycare, everything. Sandra's mother called her a disgrace. Chika's friends called him trapped. Yet, when they sat side by side during the first ultrasound and saw a heartbeat flicker on the screen, something cracked inside them. It wasn't love, yet, but it wasn't indifference either. Still, with emotions growing, one night would change everything. After a long evening sorting baby registry items, Chika walked Sandra to her door. Rain began to fall. She turned to thank him, but he stepped closer. Their eyes locked. The kiss was sudden, heated, wrong. And yet it felt right. When they pulled apart, both were breathless. "I shouldn't have done that," Chika muttered. "You think?" Sandra snapped, her emotions spiraling. Was he using her? Was she catching feelings? She slammed the door, heart pounding. The lines had blurred, and neither of them was ready for what came next. Sandra's ex-boyfriend, Emeka, resurfaced. Curious and suddenly interested, he offered her support, said he still loved her. Chika didn't like it. "Why is he here now?" he asked, eyes narrowed. "You jealous?" Sandra shot back. "We're not a couple." But it hurt him, more than he expected. He found himself snapping at her, trying to prove he cared, but not too much. Sandra, meanwhile, was torn. Emeka was stable, safe, familiar, but when he touched her belly and said, "Our baby," her stomach turned. Something didn't feel right, especially when Chika showed up at her office, unannounced. They fought in the parking lot, loud, ugly. People stared. "I'm not a charity case," Sandra shouted, "and I'm not your babysitter." Chika barked back. Months of buried resentment exploded. He accused her of pushing him away. She accused him of only stepping up when it was convenient, but when she tried to walk away, she slipped on the wet pavement. He caught her just in time. As she sobbed in his arms, they both realized something had shifted. Not fixed, not perfect, but deeper. Fragile trust was forming, built from raw pain and reluctant hope. Sandra's baby shower was supposed to be a happy day. Pink balloons, laughter, friends and family gathered. Chika was there, quiet but present, until Sandra's mother made a speech, one that humiliated him. Some men only become fathers by accident, she said pointedly. Chika stood up. I'm trying, he said, voice trembling. Maybe not perfectly, but I'm here. He left before the cake was even cut. Sandra followed him out, angry and embarrassed. Why'd you make a scene, she asked. Why didn't you defend me, he replied. The rift between them widened once more. 2 weeks early, Sandra's water broke, alone in her apartment. Chika was unreachable. Her phone died. Panic took over. She barely made it to the hospital, barely signed her name before passing out from pain. Hours later, Chika burst into the ward, soaked and wild-eyed. He held her hand through 12 hours of labor, whispering courage into her ear. And when their daughter, Debbie, arrived, everything paused. The room faded. Just the three of them. The love he felt was undeniable. Sandra saw it, and maybe, just maybe, it meant something real. Chika moved into the spare room, not as a boyfriend, but as a father. Nights blurred into diaper changes and lullabies. Slowly, they started cooking meals together, watching shows, laughing again. One evening, she fell asleep on his shoulder. The way he looked at her, soft, reverent, it meant more than words. I still don't know what we are, she whispered one night. Maybe we're figuring it out, he said, together. But before their new rhythm could settle, Chika got a job offer in Abuja. Triple the pay, more stability, and a painful question. Should he stay for love or leave for future? At the airport, Chika stood with his suitcase, Debbie's photo in his wallet. Sandra didn't come to say goodbye, or so he thought. Just as boarding began, she appeared, breathless, eyes teary. I don't want you to go, she said. Not if there's a chance this us could be something. He smiled, dropped his bag, walked toward her. I don't want to go either. Debbie's cry played from a voice note on Sandra's phone. They both laughed. Two wild hearts, once reckless, now tethered by love, choice, and something deeper than lust. They didn't have it all figured out, but they were choosing each other every single day. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. What lessons did you learn from this story? Kindly comment your thoughts, subscribe, and hit the bell button for more stories like this.